there goes what, 9 minutes of the class. Anyways, so let's correct this. So you just be honest with yourself, with me. I want you to learn though at the end of the day. So if you're writing stuff down, just make sure you use a pen. I have nothing against that, you adding after the fact, as long as you use a pen or a marker. So the table shows the amount of the average number of items purchased per person at a retail store. Number of people, number of items purchased. So two different categories. It's not this, right? Let's say those headings or those labels had not been there, and it just says, hey, this is what it is. Well, then you would find the mean, median, and mode of this if you could, and that would be it, right? It's not a weighted mean situation. But if you have two different categories, right? This is a category, this is another category. Calculate the mean number of items purchased per person. So this right here tells you what your final answer should be in. It should be in blank number of items, right? That's what we want, okay? So let's do the math part. So we multiply across like this. And sure, you can just write down the answers right here. This would be 20. This would be 75, 120, 350, 400, 420, 195, 200, okay? And then we add all of this up. So on a test, AC, quiz, whatever you want it, this is good. I'm okay with that. Then I would bring this down, just the sum of it, I would bring that down here. And so that's 1,780. And now the kicker is, what do I divide by? So you would get one, usually these ones are worth 2 marks, so you get 1 out of 2 already for having the 1780. But now you need to tell me what you're going to divide by. And this is the unit analysis. So the whole time you were multiplying the items times people. Okay? And you want items to stay. Like you want your final unit to be in items. So you're going to divide by people. Okay? The total number of people. So you're going to go up here and add up that row. Okay? And in this case, it adds up to 45 people that were considered in this survey, or the data that was collected involved 45 people, 45 customers. So 45 goes here. So when you divide, you get 39.56. items per person. Okay, so that's your, so this is how I'm going to grade you today. I'm going to give you 1 here, 1 there, and then 1 for your final answer with the units. Okay, so if your units are missing, it's 2.5. Right? And so that's how I'll do it today, but normally those are worth 2 marks. Okay. Next, the following table shows the amount of views Mr. D got on his YouTube channel over 10 days. A is arrange the data in the table. I just made these numbers up, by the way. I don't know what they are right now. So you do 14, 14, 15, and I strongly recommend you cross them off as you take them down. $79, right? Sorry. There. So if you got that, you get the mark for that one. Okay? So you get a mark for having it exactly like that. Calculate the arithmetic mean of the views. So it's just the average as you have done it before. And we have 10 values that we're adding. If you add everything up, you get to 268. So that's 26.8 views. It's okay to have decimals, all right? It's okay. Sure. That in this case, the 0 is not needed because it's not dollars. But you know what? That's a very good habit. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Okay. You have that AC, right? Okay. Determine the median number of views. What does this number tell us? Again, the median, this is even. Okay, median, even. So you know you're going to have to add two numbers and divide it by 2. Okay, so the trick here is, I don't know where to do it, honestly. I'm just going to get rid of this. 10 divided by 2 gives you 5, right? So it's the 5th and the 6th item that you're going to have to add in that arranged set. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's these two that you're going to consider. How did you get that, Mr. Dixon? I don't know. Just, right, block whatever you think is the center, the two numbers, and then count and make sure you have the same amount on either side, and you're good to go, all right? That would be 39 over 2, which is 19.5 views is the mean. So what does this number tell us? I'm trying to squeeze that in here. Half of the time there are fewer than 19.5 views, and half of the time more than 19.5 views. If you just said more, I'm okay. You don't have to go 19.5 again. Okay? But that's what the median is telling us, bottom line. Okay, state the mode. Mode is 14 and 17. Okay, you've got two modes here. So 14 comma 17 views. Just make sure you have views or whatever the context is telling you. So I'll just box this off here. Back to the median, you get 1 mark for the number and 1 mark for the actual description or explanation. Is or are there any outliers? If so, state them. I'd say 79 is an outlier. So yes, 79 views. Because it's very different, right? It jumps. It's more than double of the last value on the upper side. So again, this is an upper, right? Upper value. It's just an observation. You don't have to have that, but it's just an upper outlier. Calculate the trimmed mean number of views. So in this case, right, if you just take out 1 on each end, you're going to get the right answer. So the trimmed mean, you're down to 8. Okay, so that's one mark right there. And then you go 268 and you subtract the 14, you subtract the 79. And you get a 175 over 8, which is 21.88 views. So I give you 1 for the 8 and 1 for the 175. And then obviously your final answer would have to be stated as well. Okay. So what was my mean before? My arithmetic mean was 26.8. Does it make sense that it dropped? Yes. Yes, because the upper outlier has been removed. So imagine this big number is pulling your average up. And if you drop it, of course you drop the lower as one, but this is the outlier. This has the most pull, right? On a tug of war, this is like your strongest person on the end, like pulling and winning the fight, right? If you remove that one, it's gonna go over to the other side. So that's why is like that. So this page is worth 11 marks. 11 marks for this page. Then the back side.
For the first question, is it okay to list out the numbers like 4 times 5?
Yeah, that's probably the better way of doing it.
Yeah, so I don't have to like add it up and then just
But you do have the sum at one point, right? Yeah. Okay. Backside. Emma's scores and weights in the various categories are shown below. Calculate her final average score. Can I just say something? This is one of the favorites for the province. There seems to be one of these almost every exam. Like, I won't say every exam, but quite often. Calculate the final score for someone. Okay? That one should be a slam dunk, right? So, first of all, you notice percentages. This one for sure doesn't add up to 100, but the weights normally do, right? So there's 20 and 20, that's 40. 75, 25 is 100. So that just makes it clear that you're going to have to divide by 100 at the end. So just multiply across as always. So in this case, I'll just put the numbers down here. This is 464, 780, 1540. I would still strongly suggest you put the numbers down somewhere. Okay, don't just come up with the final and then if it's wrong, we have nothing to go by. We don't know what you've done. Okay, so if you add up all of these, you get 5,534. And this is going to be divided by 100. And so the final score is 55.34%. Now this wouldn't be on your report card. It'll probably go 55. But still, just state it to 2 decimals. You will not. You'll always be on the safe side to round to 2 decimals, especially if it's a score which can be like this, right? It can be a decimal. What's the score? Where do you get your numbers from? I'd say 1 mark, right, for having these correct, and then 1 mark for the final answer. Mr. Dirksen, what if I get the 5534 wrong? What if I get something else here? Take off 1 mark, okay? And then just follow through there. You still get 2 out of 3 there, if that's the only mistake. If I see an honest mistake, for example, you multiply these 2 numbers and I see 175. I can tell that you probably forgot to write down that 0. That would be a half off. If I can like trace back what went wrong, if it's just like a transcript error, you transferred it wrong, that's only a half mark deduction. Okay. All right. Last but not least, Emma's class will be allowed to write another exam. What must she score on it to get a 60% average? So I don't know if you catch what happened here. The final exam was 35 before on the top here, and that got split up into 20 and 15, so it's still 35. Okay, so final exam 1, final exam 2. We check, this still adds up to 100%, so nothing changes there. Okay. You still have to cross, you go mad, just like before. And I'll write down the numbers for 64, 780, 1540. So nothing has changed so far. 20 times 50, that's also 1,000. And this one, 15 times x, that's just 15x. So you know this is a backwards scenario because we want a mean of 60%. Okay? So here we go. 60% is what we want. And if we add up what we have here, we get 4784 plus x. Sorry, 15x, not just x. And that is all divided by 100. If you get to this point, you already have a mark in the bag, okay? You're going to get a mark for sure for that part. And then we're going to give you 2 more marks for what's after this. Okay, so your first step would be multiplying this by 100, multiplying this by 100. And we get to cancel there. So this is 6,000 is equal to 4784 plus 15x. And now we subtract. We take away this number. That way we get to cancel. You're left with 15x. And on the other side, you're left with 1216. I would give you another mark for this step right here today. for subtracting. And then last but not least is we divide by 15. We get to cancel these out. So x is left on the right side, and on the left side you get 81.07%. Is it possible? Yes, it is. Since she needs to score below 100%. Is it reasonable?
Yeah, she got a 77.
77 is close to 81, yeah? Yeah. I think that one is very subjective, but this one you can answer, right? If it's under 100, it's possible. So, sorry, I forgot the marks, right? So for the division by 15, you get another one, including the final answer. So if you're not sure how to grade it, if you got 81.07 and you showed me some work there, you get the 3 marks. And then 1 mark for this. So the back side is worth 8. 7, right? 7 marks. I bet. 1 and 3, that's 4, and 3 is 7. So 11 and 7, that is 18. So you put a mark out of 18, your name and last name, and